Hey everybody, welcome to another week of LME3 and E3's encouragement, entertainment, and a little extra. So we hope you're enjoying. I'll start this off again by saying thank you.
Yeah.
People are reaching out to us and through instant messaging or phone calls, text messaging, whatever, saying, hey, we really like, we look forward to your weekly vlogs.
Yeah.
And it's helping us, or I get a phone call from somebody and it's helping us.
We challenged them last week to make a phone call to someone. Although I didn't see a whole lot of responses.
No, I didn't either.
So,
and I didn't hear anything.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything
I don't know.
from anybody.
We
that
hope
you
you
made
did
the phone
it.
call. But that's okay. You didn't have to tell us, but,
no, but
we hope you did. We hope
yes,
you made that phone
we
call.
did. Yeah.
So this week, important topic to talk about, and it's actually a personal, it's something personal that I'm going to share.
So for weeks, Eddie's been walking around saying, I'm just tired, and I just don't have any drive, and that face.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, go to the doctor.
Well, that's not what you said, but...
What did I say?
Let me tell the story the right way.
Okay.
So anyway, you know, I just haven't been feeling, I've been feeling off, and that's the thing, just off, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't put my finger on it. And Lynn Marie is right. You know, I've been tired a lot lately, just kind of blah, you know, just not motivated about stuff, but it even runs deeper. And we're going to show a slide or something that's going to come up here that's going to show the symptoms that I was feeling, but I'll tell you them first. So before going to the doctor, you know, I think a lot of you know that we do see, we go regularly through therapy. And I decided to call our therapist up and just go one-on-one and to have a conversation with him. So I basically just went like this. He said, how you feeling? I'll tell you how I was feeling. I said, look, I'm unmotivated about anything. You know, just everything that I do, I am, you know, I have, you know, some excitement, but it's not like that high level of excitement. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I can't focus or concentrate on any one thing, whether it be my music, whether it be my day job, whether it be Lynn Marie, whether it be just doing anything. I just have no focus. I don't have even patience for that focus. I've noticed over the course of time that over the last several months, it's harder for me to fall asleep. And I'm also sleeping later. I'm sleeping past my alarm clock. Usually I was either up when my alarm clock goes off or even before. Yeah. And now I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm sleeping sometimes a couple hours past the alarm clock. My eating habits have changed a little bit. And I am just not motivated about it on anything, you know, and just feeling off. I can't get to the gym like I wanted to. You know, I just don't have that same excitement. So I gave him all these, symptoms, and he basically diagnosed me and said, you're suffering from depression. And that was really hard, words to hear, especially and looking at me and saying, what do I have to be depressed about, right? I should be very happy with what I got going on in my life and what's going on around me. But it's the truth. And what's even more truth about that is some people look at depression as somebody moping around and being completely just, you know, you look at someone and you go, man, that person looks depressed, right? But depression isn't like that, not all the time with everybody. It could be someone who actually looks like, yeah, they're having fun or they're a good time or, you know, everything's going great in their life. Or maybe some people just you don't see anything, but you just don't see what people in some people's minds think is depression, right? But he did diagnose me with that. And, and the other thing that I told him too is like a lot of times where you know, during the day, I don't, you know, I'll have 10 different tasks to do and I just don't want to do them. I'd rather just crawl into bed and just, you know, take a nap or sleep or whatever. And again, it's not like that, oh, woe is me or whatever, but it was just that feeling of just overwhelmingness or just lack of interest in doing anything. So with that being said, I took his advice, and his advice was, of course, to continue to see him from a therapeutic standpoint, but also to go see a doctor. So I went to see a doctor yesterday, and I explained to him the same symptoms, and I took my little test, and he said the same thing. Yep, he goes, classic signs of depression. And there's a couple different things to of course try to combat depression. And one thing is we're going to try medication. So I'm going to start the medication route, but I'm also going to continue with the therapy, and I'm also going to be cognizant of doing things. Now and Lynn could talk about this too, but there are several things that you can do, okay, with depression. So the first thing, and Lynn Marie talked about this in our last week's vlog, was not isolating.
Yeah.
Don't isolate. So that was
right
one
there on the wall.
Yeah,
Don't isolate.
Don't isolate. So that's one thing the therapist and the doctor said. Get out and talk with people. Get on the phone and talk with people. Remember what we said last week? Pick up that
call
phone.
Somebody. Yeah.
You see where these things are going? All right. See where these vlogs are going?
Yeah.
They all tie together,
Yeah.
or some of them will.
Yeah.
So don't isolate. Get outside. Get out in sunlight.
Yeah.
So if you're isolating in a house, you get outside, even if it's not real sunny. Like the doctor said,
air.
Fresh air, and there's still more sunlight, even when it's cloudy outside, than there is in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise. It's really hard to push yourself, even if it's 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes a day is proven to combat depression more than anything else you can do. So exercise, push yourself, and if you can't get to the gym, as the therapist says, he goes, put on your tennis shoes, get outside your door, and just walk down the street.
Yep.
Just do a brisk walk. And that will get your endorphins, your serotonin levels up higher. And of course, watch what you eat and things of that nature. So those are just a couple things that they've told me to do.
Yeah, so we talked about it last week. Don't isolate. It's on the wall. Don't isolate. Exercise. Eat well. And I've added pray to that as well. Many of you know that I was very vocal in my book and in my play about struggling with depression. And again, I want to reemphasize what Eddie said, that it's not... it's definitely a chemical imbalance in my head. Like, I have been on Lexapro since before James was born, and I can tell you when I forget to take it for 3 or 4 days, I can tell that my brain is not functioning like it should. So I'm not a huge component just to run and get a drug to cover it up or to fix it. As long as that drug, in my opinion, is accompanied by therapy, where you're really trying to understand what's going on with you emotionally and physically as well. And as long as you're doing all these other things, not isolating and eating well and exercising, I think those play a really big part. I think it all works together. But I also do know that there's sometimes a chemical imbalance, and I felt it in my own head. And when we started off this conversation by saying, Eddie was saying this at the beginning, and it never dawned on me that he might be depressed, because probably like you, from the outside looking in, it looks like everything's great. He's made some big changes in his life in the last year. He quit smoking, he quit drinking. Those are all big things. And now we're a year into all that, and you start to kind of settle into life and real life. And in this vlog and on Facebook, we don't try to portray it. We enjoy life and we share it with you guys. If we're traveling, we share it. If we're playing, we share it. That's just what's going on. But it was interesting to me that somebody from the outside, even me who shares a home with him, could go, it seems like you should be happy. And then to realize that he really is happy, but there's an imbalance going on.
Right. And folks, and here it is, the science still continues to check to see where depression comes from. And it could, a lot of it is a chemical imbalance. Depression can be an event in your life that triggers it. But a lot of the depression, sad to say, is genetic.
Could be.
And runs in your family. So, if your family...
It was interesting what the therapist said. He said, or your doctor, he said, you could have been depressed for years or your whole life and not recognized it because you were self-medicating.
Right.
So if you're covering it up with too many pills or drinking or overeating or sugar, you could be depressed and just not know it.
Right,
so
absolutely.
I thought that was really interesting.
And for those of you that will say, well, good, I'll just keep drinking then. Well,
nice try.
You could try that, yeah. But that's just continuously putting Band-Aids on wounds, right?
Yeah.
But we're not here...
Rearranging the chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah, we're not here to preach, though. No. Do whatever works for you. That's it.
We're just sharing our story. So it was an interesting week for us. I was really proud of Eddie. to be so open about it and to immediately go talk to our therapist and then immediately follow up with the doctor.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for
Well,
that.
thank you very much.
And we hope that if you are experiencing any of these things, we're not saying that we're not diagnosing you, but go talk to a therapist or go talk to your doctor and get outside. I know it's winter. I know everybody's kind of got that winter blah because it's been cold and all of that. But, if you can just walk around the block, bundle up, walk around the block. And again, go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone this week.
If you want to call us.
Week, yeah, if you want to call us, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
We like to talk.
Yeah, we'll help each other. Look,
Yes.
that's what we're here for. That's what we're all about, right?
Yeah.
Pick up the phone, talk to somebody, don't isolate. So
Yes.
we're extending ourselves to you because it's going to help us too. We love to help
Absolutely.
you guys. Or call your friends or
Yeah.
call whoever you want. But Lynn Marie said, we share these things. I'm not sharing my personal life for a pity party. And I'm not sharing it for someone to say, oh, poor Eddie. Oh, man, no, not at all. I'm sharing this because if just one person, I've said this way back in the beginning, if it's just one person out there thinks they're suffering from something or going through an addiction or they just need a day of encouragement, that is
We're here.
all
That's
we're doing this
That's
for.
what this is about.
So that's it. We thank you for listening. I kept her hanging just
You
now.
did!
But
Oh my
here
gosh.
we come in. All right?
Have a great
We will see you next week. And bye-bye.
Hey everybody, I'm setting up this week's entertainment piece coming to you from James's room. I made that for him. It's above his bed. It says dream, and I love to dream about what life could be like. And if you would have told me that just a little over a year ago that Eddie and I would be together and we'd be singing songs together and playing together, I would have never have believed it. But we are, and last weekend we got to perform, or I guess just this last week, we got to perform at a place in Nashville called the Old School Farm. And this is such an awesome place because not only is it a farm-to-table restaurant with organic food and craft cocktails, the farm itself, they employ special needs adults to run the farm, which is a really neat thing. And maybe James will work there someday. I don't know. But I love this place. And we actually took our engagement pictures there. And we also held a benefit for the foundation that I started in James's honor. It's called Because of James. And we had our first event at the Old School Farm. So this place is special to me. So just this last week, we got to perform as part of their writers series that happens once a month. And this is the very first song that we ever wrote together. It's called Too Good to Be True. And it's kind of how we feel towards each other. So enjoy.
When I'm with you, girl, the clouds just fade away. Sunshine fills the sky. When I see you laughing, it brightens my day. I don't even have to try. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that I'm crazy. What I feel is yes, I know maybe too good to be true. The one and only new love. Too good to be loved. 1 + 1, that's our love. Forever and a day, love. Too good to be loved. When I'm with you, boy, the clouds just fade away. You make me feel like the sun. When I see you laughing, it brightens up my day. Then I'm right where I belong. Alright, here we go. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that I'm crazy. What I'm feeling is yes, I know maybe. Too good to be true, love. One and only new love. Too good to be loved. 1 + 1, that's our love. Forever and a day, love. Too good to be loved. silent forever and a day. Love, too good to be loved. 1 + 1 and silent forever and a day. Love, too good to be loved. 1 + 1 and silent forever and a day. Love, too good to be loved.
Today's extra is backstage at Pickler and Ben. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick little tour of what goes on here. Over here we have our awesome culinary department. They're figuring out what they're going to feed, how they're going to make the food look good. And our art department, this is their morning meeting. But follow me this way. Come here. Most people, you see the staircase. It's not a real staircase. It's a staircase to nowhere. It doesn't go anywhere. And this is where Kelly and Ben do their final touch-ups in the morning. Ew, God. And this is where our stage managers hang out. And that was Chuck, we just passed. He's one of our stage managers. And let's go this way. Oh, look, that's the teleprompter, so they can read their words before they go on screen. Let's come this way. And this is where culinary preps all the food that they're going to. Good morning. Good morning. And this way. Good morning. More behind the scenes stuff. Pretty cool, huh? This is the most important part because this is craft service. That's okay. This is where they feed us. This is my friend Tammy. She pushes all the right buttons to make self-promotion. Yes, and so here, it's a great thing about Tammy. Everybody here is so talented. She has, she sells her own. She has her own bees, and she sells all her own products. Oh, we're gonna do a whole segment. Okay. This is for our weekly vlog, vlog that Eddie do. But we're gonna do a whole segment on Tammy. That's coming up.
I'm so excited because I can fill a segment.
Yes, she can. So, but for this job, she pushes all the buttons that roll all the videotapes that you see, and she's just one of my best favorite friends. But she has a bee company. I mean, what do you call it? Lip balms and healing balms and honey. And so we're going to talk to Tammy on another segment. Sweet. Oh, and there's Sandy back there. Sandy does our teleprompting. We're going to talk to her.
I talked to her.
I'd be Ben. Ronnie had it. How do you think the guys did? 5 seats. Kelly, Teresa, you have 3 dishes in front of you. Are you ready to dig? 5D. Bachelor number 1 dish. Ben, bachelor number 1. Tell Teresa about your first dish. About your dish. Not first dish.
Okay, so now back to
Because it's just
His only dish. No, he has one. He's really
He types, yeah, very quickly. All right, come this way. Food, the most important thing, because we all need to eat. Exit this door in case you're confused. They have to spell it out for us. And then this is where where Olivia who's running camera. This is where Olivia and I sit. This is the control room. Hi, Brett. This is Brett. I'm doing a little video, a vlog of behind the scenes of what we do.
This is the most behind the scenes you can possibly
This is
get.
Absolutely. Brett's really important. He does so many things I can't even tell you. Right, does it say? What does it say?
It actually says
Oh,
VIP
it says
room.
VIP room. This is important.
So in the absence of VIPs, I get to have this room.
I love it. And this is the control room. That's Tony. He really pushes button. That's Joe, our director. That's Haley. She does all the graphics. And all the producers, when they come in, they sit back here and tell the front row what to do. And Olivia and I sit way over in that corner. Here, I'll go stand there.
But she okay, good.
All right.
All right, now we're.
What about this one?
Okay. So now we're back to the Skype.
You go to
whatever.
camera.
Yeah, I'll go to double box. I'll go to whatever.
All right.
Okay, there's all the double
Okay, we
box.
have another one.
Why did that not go? Hold on.